In our strategy session, praise from an unlikely source for Attorney General Eric Holder's decision to investigate CIA interrogation techniques. Joining us to talk about that and more, Democratic strategist and former Hillary Clinton campaign spokesman Mo Elathi, whose company has health care clients, and Republican strategist Ron Bonjean, former spokesman for House Speaker Denny Hastert. Thanks for joining us here in the Situation Room. I want to start off first, obviously, this from the former Attorney General Alberto Gonzales about Eric Holder's decision on these interrogation investigations. I want you to take a listen.
The chief prosecutor of the United States, he should make the decision on his own based on the facts and then inform the White House this was what he had decided to do.
I want to start off with you. I mean, is this surprising? What do you make of his comments?
Well, it's a little surprising. Only 3 weeks ago, Alberto Gonzales said to the Associated Press that he wasn't in favor of Eric Holder conducting this investigation. And frankly, if I were the Attorney General, I wouldn't want to have Alberto Gonzales sharing a foxhole with me right now. I'd rather have former Congressman James Traficant in there than him, because he has gone through such scrutiny, and he had to resign from his position because members of Congress called on him to step down over the firings of the U.S. attorneys.
So do you think he's being sincere, or you think he's flip-flopping because of his audience?
I think he's flip-flopping. I think it's revenge politics. I don't think he's very sincere. We're not sure what positions he has. But, you know, what the clear thing is that we have to look forward, like Obama says, and not backward, and quit talking about investigating the past and start focusing our efforts on keeping our troops safe in the field, keeping Americans safe at home, and focus on the real issue, which is Afghanistan.
Mo, what do you think this says about the Bush White House? You had Cheney just a couple days ago, the former vice president, coming out saying that he thought in the Holder decision, they were just playing politics, essentially, under President Obama, but now he seems in direct opposition to what Gonzales, his own former attorney general, is saying.
Yeah, there clearly isn't a whole lot of unity coming out of the former Bush White House officials. And it's, I don't know that I ever thought I'd say this, but I actually agree with Alberto Gonzales on this one. It is a little ironic, given the fact that he was so often criticized for politicizing the role of Attorney General, coordinating too closely with the White House, that he'd now take this position that it ought to be an independent counsel. But I think he's right. I think Attorney General Holder's done this the right way, and it is truly independent, focused on those people that overstep the bounds.
Any idea on his motives from either one of you? A possible job at the Justice Department, or what do you make of it?
I think he probably knows that's unlikely.
Yeah, that's pretty unlikely. I don't think you think he's still looking around.
I want to go to this new Democratic national ad here that's going after Cheney for criticisms of the Obama administration. I want you to hear this. It is talking about enhanced interrogation techniques were absolutely essential. McCain says, I think the interrogations were in violation of the Geneva Conventions and the Convention Against Torture. I understand we actually have some sound of this. I want you to listen to it.
The enhanced interrogation techniques were absolutely essential.
I think the interrogations were in violation of the Geneva Conventions and the Convention Against Torture.
What are the implications of this ad?
Yeah, this is bad politics for President Obama, and frankly, it's taking them down a road they just don't want to go. It's creating a huge problem for them that they're going to have to deal with as this investigation goes further. You know, if a terrorist attack happens, God forbid, in the United States, this could end up being part of the reason why. We just don't know. But right now, we're fighting a war in Iraq and Afghanistan. We should be concentrating our efforts there, not looking backwards.
Mo?
Well, look, given the lack of organized message coming out of the Republican Party, Dick Cheney continues to sort of be one of the leaders of the party and continues to be one of the more active voices out there delivering some sort of consistent message. I think it makes sense that the DNC would focus on him. The fact that he's out there still delivering this tired, old message that was so thoroughly rejected by the American public in 2008. I think it's a nice little reminder about what was at stake.
I think it's wasted money. I think they're wasting their money. They're not going to move any voters in the Democrats' direction over this type of ad. And it's bad politics for President Obama to keep pursuing it.
Real quick here, the Reno Gazette-Journal Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid was asked about Senator Kennedy's death, how it would affect things in the Senate. He says, I think Kennedy will be a help. He's an inspiration for us. That was the issue of his life, and he didn't get it done, talking about health care reform. Do you think it's an appropriate comment, and do you think it's accurate?
Well, I think it was absolutely appropriate that Senator Kennedy is an inspiration to everyone, an inspiration in this health care debate. I think while his passing certainly was tragic and sad for so many people, if it does help remind people why what the cause of his life was and why it's so important to get health care passed, then I think that is a good thing.
I don't know about how much of an impact his death will have on the passage of health care reform. You know, the two groups on Capitol Hill Obama has to focus on is moderate Democrats and Nancy Pelosi, and the two groups that he has to focus on outside the Beltway are seniors and independents. They have to figure out the details of this plan. His speech next Wednesday is going to be critical in a high-wire act.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you very much, Ron. Well, one resigned from